Hey, this is Chris from Centerfire Systems. Today we're going to talk about East German AK parts kits. These are really nice parts kits. They've got some really unique features to them. There's a variety of parts with some of them. These parts kits were re-arsenaled many, many times. At some point, they ended up in Lebanon. The Lebanese re-arsenaled them, but mostly they were probably re-arsenaled many times by the East Germans. These things, some of them had a really long service life. They were made anywhere from the early 70s to the early 80s. So you see a variety of the layers of where they made changes. The handguards may have changed. The muzzle devices might have changed. Certain styles of certain things changed. The stocks obviously changed over time. There'll be three varieties when it comes to stocks. There'll be a side folder, the pebble grain plastic, and some wood. You also can see a lot of the history of these and how they changed over time through parts like the gas tube, where the gas tube's marked. Some of them are marked actually on the body of the tube itself, like this one. And then later on down the road, when you got kind of into the 80s, they started stamping the number, like the last three, on the edge of the retainer there. So a lot of cool things about these, especially if you kind of look at the history of them. Now, because they were re-arsenaled so many times, you see where some of the parts are not East German made because they used whatever. Some parts are Russian. A lot of the parts, if it's not really German, ended up being Russian. And I'm going to make an assumption that that was part of probably the German re-arsenaling when they did it, because they probably had more access to Russian parts. And then when you see more of the Yugo parts or the Polish parts, that was probably the Lebanese re-arsenaling them. But for the most part, majority of it is original East German. And then some of it, you just can't identify. The recoil spring assemblies, they don't have any markings on them, so you don't know where they came from. They could be German, maybe not. Could be Yugo. And the other cool thing is cleaning rods, mostly actual East German cleaning rods. All these kits have an original barrel that's in good shape. The barrels, for the most part, have been nice and shiny and clean. Really a testament to how well these were probably taken care of. Front sights seem to be all German and original. The trunnions, obviously each rear trunnion will have the date and a serial number on it. These have all been German. So all the kits have the German. So just kind of running through what the parts kit contains. You get your stock and your hardware. In this case, what I've got laid out here, I've got the folding stock, and it's got the insert that goes inside the receiver on it, your lever, and the other little pieces you need there for the stock to operate. While we're talking about stocks, I guess we'll talk about the other stocks. So there'll be pebble grain with the metal butt plate on them. So there's that. And wood. Some of the wood ones are not in the greatest condition. Some of them have a little bit, you probably can't see that, but some of them have a little bit of trench art on them. That one's got a nice little heart and what looks like might be some initials, I don't know. So you get your stock, your selector safety lever, your pins, the spring and detent for the muzzle device. You'll have your trigger guard with your mag release installed. Now, they did change these over time, and we were able to identify that. Pretty sure that most of these are original East German, but you'll see a difference in them because they were changed. They had kind of a bump in them, and some of them were more flat, and so there were some changes there. uh, your rear trunnion, and then you'll have your rear sight block with the rear sight installed. Uh, the rear sights, they're easy to identify. They, you know, most of them have a letter on them. A lot of people know this. This is common knowledge in the AK world. You know, your letter on the sight helps you identify it, and that's how we're sure that they're either German. In some cases, many of them are Russian, and some Polish, some Romanian, some Yugo. And then your gas block, front side assembly, which these have been all East German. Handguard retainer, your fire control group, that's all there. You've got the whole thing. Handguard, gas tube, grip. All the grips have been authentically German and correct to the period. Your screw and nut for that grip. Talked about the barrels a little bit. There's a variety of muzzle devices. Some of them are slant like this one, and some of them are the flat ones that look more like a thread protector. These East German guns, they came with both of those. So both of those muzzle devices are correct depending on what period it was and everything. But through re-arsenaling, you know, a lot of this got mixed up as far as unserialized items. But your recoil spring assembly, a lot of them have the serial number right there. The receiver covers, you'll see a variety, some differences in. So early East German AKs were all milled receivered, and they had a smooth receiver cover on them. But we've been able to identify them as actually German because of the serial number pattern and where they put the serial number and that sort of stuff. So just because there's a smooth one in there and it's not the ribbed one like this, it's still probably German. There's been some exceptions where we can't identify it. There's been some Russian receiver covers. So just really cool. But typically, most of them look like this. Bolt carrier with the gas piston. If you look at some of these gas pistons real close on the correct German carriers, you'll notice that you can see a inspection mark on it like this one has it. It's all been basically the same inspection mark. It's been a number with a circle around it. So pretty cool. And then, of course, your complete bolt and maybe a cleaning rod. With these German kits, you're going to see a variety when it comes to serial numbers. So I kind of based everything off of the serial number on the rear trunnion. That would have matched the serial number, obviously, on the receiver, and it would have been visible. It kind of would have been the serial number of the whole weapon. Obviously, not all of these parts kits are going to have all matching parts because of how many times they were re-arsenaled and how many times they were taken apart, put back together. So a lot of them have at least 2 matching parts, 4 matching parts. Majority of them have a matching bolt and carrier, which is good because if you're wanting to rebuild this kit, at least you know your bolt and your carrier go together, and so that helps you down the road when you're building. The overall condition on these kits is really, really good. You have to take into consideration their age and what they went through. I mean, some of these things were made, there were several of them that were made in 1970, 77, 72, 75, 82. They were used. They were used a lot. They were carried a lot. So when you really consider the age and the use of these parts, they're really nice. As always, we appreciate you watching the videos. Keep your eye on the channel. We got some really cool stuff coming. Be real exciting, real informative, really cool stuff. And if you got an idea for a video you'd like to see, let us know. We'll see if we can knock it out.